Good afternoon. My name is Dave Wade, Chairperson of the Veterans Committee of Community Board 3.
Good afternoon. My name is Najani Granville, and I'm Chairperson of the Veterans Committee of Community Board 8. On behalf of Dr. Brown, the Chairperson of the Veterans Committee of Community Board 16, who has served as the Chairperson of the Veterans Appreciation Parade Committee, it is our privilege and pleasure to welcome you here today. We are delighted to have you join us as we show our appreciation to our veterans serving the United States Armed Forces.
And Dr. Brown is ready. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, the fighting ended World War I ended in 1918. November 11th became universally recognized the day of celebration. The day that was initially declared Armistice Day in 1954 after World War II and the Korean War. It was renamed to Veterans Day to honor all veterans who served America in war and defended democracy. Today, we honor all of our veterans who unselfishly placed their lives on the line for our freedom. We were ordinary people until we heard the call of duty and answered. We left our families, our homes, and our lives. Not for recognition of fame or for even honor that is bestowed upon us today, but to protect our country. No matter which branch you served in, or whatever length of time, raising your hand and committing yourself to serve in the armed forces was a brave and selfless act. Veterans Day is the day that we honor our veterans for the ultimate sacrifice, our fellow servicemen and women have made defended our country in the United States of America. Throughout this nation's history, military men and women have bravely the call to defend the freedom of our families, friends, allies against our enemies. Veterans who have placed their lives on the line to protect the freedom that we often take for granted. They dedicated their lives to this country and deserve to be appreciated for their commitment. We can never fully repay our debt or gratitude to service members who died in the line of duty or those who are wounded in battle. We can, however, recognize and appreciate and thank the veterans who are standing strong today.
Everyone try to keep their conversations a little lower so that we can hear the speakers. Today, we show our appreciation for these men and women who have answered the call of duty to defend the country they never knew, to protect people they never knew.
Hello? Hello? Ladies and gentlemen.
Today, we show our appreciation for these men and women who have answered the call of duty to defend the country they never knew. To defend the country they never knew and to protect people they have never met. Your sacrifice and dedication to this country will never be forgotten. The Veteran Affairs Committees of each community board are on a mission to ensure that all veterans are recognized for their sacrifices that they and their loved ones have made on behalf of this country. That includes ensuring that each veteran receives all of the entitlements they have earned. On behalf of the district managers of Community Board 3, Community Board 8, and Community Board 16, the members of their respective Veteran Affairs Committees, our elected officials, the staff of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, the New York City Department of Veteran Services, and their staff, it is our honor to say thank you to all who have served this country. We appreciate you for your service, your commitment, and the sacrifices you have made in keeping this nation, the land of the free and the home of the brave, safe and sound. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace in believing that you may abound in hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. God bless you, God bless your families, and God bless the United States of America. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. All right, can y'all hear me clearly? Yes. All right. Welcome to our 5th annual Veterans Appreciation Resource Fair, which is a passion to my heart. This resource fair was birthed out of pain and suffering. Once again, my name is Dr. Cleopatra Brown. I am a service-connected Cold War Navy veteran, and I can now say that I'm proud to be a veteran. In 1988, I and other servicemen and women returned home to witness the challenges the generations before us faced after returning home from the Vietnam War. Like myself, many of them were unable to find employment.
suffered from PTSD and were unable to access health care, and many became homeless. Very few resources existed to aid veterans who served honorably in this nation's defense. During my discharge orientation from the Navy, the chief spoke these words: "The majority of you will not be successful, and you will not be able to last in the civilian world." That is why we have given you a 90-day window to return to the military. As the weeks went by, I began receiving numerous calls. "I'm going back in. There's nothing out here for me." My best friend from boot camp was here in New York, and we were on our 88th day. While driving around in Brownsville, she said to me, "There's no jobs in Baltimore, and I'm going back in. What are you planning on to do? What are you planning to do?" And I said to her, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying home." On the 90th day, 34 years ago, the windows in returning to the military closed for me. I reported to Farragut Street to seek employment. I was placed on a PC and left alone to search for a job. Not once was I informed of the entitlements, benefits, and resources available to me. I landed a job at Immigration, 26 Federal Plaza. After a couple of months, I started searching for housing. I placed my name in every housing lottery that came out. Finally, I was selected and submitted all the required documents. In the process of waiting for a response, I became a supervisor. A couple of months later, I received a call to report to the office to pick up the keys to my apartment. The super placed the keys in my hand, and the office staff requested for my last pay stub. When she returned to the front, she asked me if I had another child, and I responded no. She said to me, "I'm sorry, but your income is $1 over." $1 over. I thought she was being facetious, and she removed the keys out of my hand. That day, I sat in my car. I cried, and I asked God, if you will allow me the opportunity to serve out of uniform and give back to my fellow veterans and their families, I will ensure no veterans will go through what I experienced. 20 years later, I found myself in a war fighting for benefits, entitlements, and compensation. No one wanted to touch my claim because my medical records was unreadable, and it was 20 years later. But I never gave up. I prayed and I appealed the claim. I pressed through 3 denials within a 9-year period. And by God's grace, I stand before you 100% Know that it's not too late. It is not too late. In 2016, Reverend Eddie Karim and I was at Assemblywoman Latrice Walker's office, and I said to him, "I would like to host a resource fair for veterans." He responded, "That's a great idea." So then I asked, "How can I draw the veterans to this event?" And he stated, "Do a parade." And I said, "Okay." Today, I thank you, Reverend Eddie Karim and the Assemblywoman Walker, for supporting my vision. Thank you, Reverend, for covering me in prayer and encouraging me to move forward. In 2018, Ms. Janice Morgan, our chairperson of Community Board 16, asked if I would like to chair the Veterans Affairs Committee. That day, my prayer was answered, and it changed the trajectory of my life. I came out of labor and gave birth to the Veterans Appreciation Day Parade and Resource Fair. draw veterans and give all veterans organization the opportunity to embrace its commitment to providing veterans and their families with the respect, care, recognition, and resources we have rightly earned. With the assistance of Lynn Johnson, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs Minority Veterans Program Coordinator, he introduced me to Community Board 16, Doug Williams, the chairperson of Veterans Affairs Committee. In collaboration with Doug Williams, we hosted the first Veterans Resource Fair. In 2019, we were joined by the illustrious Catherine Laporte, who assisted us in inaugurating the first Veteran Appreciation Day Parade. Thank you, Catherine. I want to thank Ms. Granville, the chairperson of Community Board 8 Veterans Committee, for coming on board and working diligently with us as we continue to accomplish the mission for our veterans. As the chair of Community Board 16 Veterans Affairs Committee and the founder of the Veterans Appreciation Day Parade and Resource Fair, I envision that every community board in New York City will incorporate a Veterans Committee and house a Veterans Center kiosk in their lobby or office. So that when servicemen and women return to their community, resources will be easily accessible. Boots will be on the ground to serve them, regardless of their discharge status. And given the opportunity to join the Community Board Veterans Committee so that no veterans who serve this country are left behind. Once again, I welcome you to our 5th annual Veterans Appreciation Resource Fair. God bless you, God bless your family, and God bless America.
So much, Dr. Brown, Ms. Granville, and Mr. Williams. It's really important to know the stories behind how things come together, because sometimes the people that we think are responsible for things are not always the people that are in front of you. It's the small voices sometimes, like Reverend Eddie Carem. So we thank you for that, for having a vision, and for being consistent and showing up every year, and your lovely family who support you and supporting us. So thank you. You all have been a part of this from day one. All right, and thank you also to our district manager who is here, Ms. Viola Green Walker, who works tirelessly to help make sure this happens with our chairpersons every year. And I also want to recognize, I don't see the other district managers, but also recognize, hi. Michelle George, 28. And also Mr. Henry Butler of Community Board 3. So at this time, is Ms. Wendy McClinton still here? Okay.
No, she is. I'm president.
Yes. And we would like to receive you. Herbert Sweat. I remember you from last year.
The living legend.
Nice to see you again.
In remembrance of me are words that I will never, ever forget. Every Sunday, I read those words. Do this in remembrance of me. You don't know where those words come from? comes from the pulpit. Pulpit comes from life itself. It's a God that has created us equal in perspective of color, creed, education, and denominations. Remember that you were created in that image. I'm here before a person that sat beside me when we both came back to New York City to become reunited in this community in which I was born and raised. Her name is Wendy McClinton. We sat in the same office right there on Fulton Street, at least 25, 28 years ago. I looked at her because I thought I was a veteran in the building of another veteran who built a building called Black Veterans for Social Justice, Joe Mashariki. In that building of bricks and mortar that he has done, he brought me back from a place called Martinsburg, West Virginia. It's the biggest hospital for post-traumatic stress disorder in the United States of America. I served 18 months there, trying to gather myself to come back home to Bed-Stuy. Yeah, I live right down here on Jefferson Avenue and Reed Avenue, not Malcolm X, Reed Avenue, and grew up here. And yes, I was just here a few months ago when Albert Van, my school teacher, died, but he also put me into a local called Local 14 of the International Union of Operating Engineers. Yes, I had to go before the federal courts for racism, discrimination against me as a combat soldier in the Vietnam War coming home. Imagine that. But I got what I wanted, my engineer license. Wendy McClinton did the same. So sitting there that day up there on Fulton Street, I looked over at this woman and I said, "You a veteran?" She said, "Yes, I'm a veteran." Mercy. "Well, what are you here for?" "I'm here for housing." "What?" The phone rings. Bam. I hear the phone. The phone couldn't be no farther than this table. I said, somebody should be here to answer that phone. Before I can get that thought clear in my head, Wendy McClinton got up and went and answered the company's phone. "All right," that's what I said. And she said those words, "Hello, can I help you?" And whoa, 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 whoa. I said, this lady just walked in here with me. The development that I'm showing you now is the lineage that it took both of us to empower ourselves to do this in remembrance of me. To understand the foundation that we came here as who we are, what we are, to become something so great that here we are today. Yes, Dr. Brown, you were right. It took a dream, but it also took your fortitude, your attitude, and just the structure of the people that are around you. Yes, sir, your prayers don't go unheard. I'm asking you today to unify ourselves. This is Boys and Girls High School. Yes, I know where Boys High was and I know where Girls High was. But now it's boys and girls. You get the connection? It's boys and girls. I didn't see no females out in the fields of Vietnam, in the killing fields we called it then. No, I didn't think I was coming home. but here I am. So I stand before you, asking you to understand this particular day. Yes, there's situations that go on. I don't know how we're going to do this. I was hoping that you would give me a few minutes because I'm at the end of the program also. And I don't have the strength to keep coming up and down. But what Wendy McClinton wanted me to say in behalf of us is to understand that what we see this country doing at this time, we need that same assistance. We need situations that when we need to exhort veterans coming home from the war or coming home from just the service itself, where we have resources, they're capable of accepting it. We have nowhere to go once we get here. Don't tell me about the VA. Don't tell me about a clinic around the corner on DeKalb. Give us the structure that you're giving people that's coming into the United States now, and they're getting all the benefits. Now, I'm going to end with this, okay? To come up next and speak to you about myself. One thing I got to say about me, I'm going to die doing what I do. I work in your courts. A lot of you don't know this. It's called Veterans Treatment Court. We need that court. All 5 boroughs, all across the United States. We need that. I also is a veteran service officer. I've been serving veterans now for over 22 years. Another thing about myself, I've been traveling as a man for a long time. I got hurt out there on 5th Avenue when I was riding a horse trying to educate you about the Buffalo Soldier. But I'm walking, come on, I'm living, and I want to thank you for accepting me for whom I am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Sweat, for your service and for those words of encouragement. We appreciate you. At this time, we're going to recognize our Grand Marshals, Ricky Semple, Colonel Ricky Semple, Colonel Gregory Collins, and Herbert Sweat. Our Grand Marshals can stand. And at this time, I'm going to call Commander Lieutenant Colonel Harold Morris of the U.S. Army University Recruiting Facility. And also, I would like to call Mr. Lynn Johnson, Ms. Justine Roper, Mr. Andre Parker, Ms. Cynthia Shamble, and Ms. Luzani Granville, all of the U.S. Army. Come forward. And also I would like to call Dr. Brown of the U.S. Navy, Mr. Williams of the U.S. Army, and Mr. Gerald P. of the U.S. Army. And at this time, we'll ask our Lieutenant Colonel Harold Morris to greet our veterans.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. I am Lieutenant Colonel Harold Morris. I'm from the New York City Army Infantry Battalion. I am here to say thank you. I'm here to say thank you. There you go. It's a tough act to follow Dr. Brown and Mr. Sweat, so I will not attempt to do it. Someday, I aspire to be an order on the same levels, but I'm not there right now. I am here from the U.S. Army to say thank you to you, fellow veterans, for doing what you do. When I came back from Iraq and Afghanistan, there were people at the airport welcoming me back home and thanking me for what I did. That's because of you. When I hear what happened to the Vietnam era veterans, I'm shocked, and I'm also inspired because I know that that change came about because of you. And then I also want to say thank you to my fellow Brooklynites for putting this on. So I'm a native of Philadelphia, and I'm here. I'm transplanted to Brooklyn. I'm a fellow Brooklynite, all right? So I want to say thank you to Community Board 13, 18, 16, the Department of Veterans Affairs, and all of you that took time out of your day, out of your Saturdays to be here and to help recognize our veterans and help provide services and link them to the support that they need. I will, if I may, Madam Ceremonies, put a shameless plug in. So I see a lot of wisdom in the crowd, all right? And a lot of you probably have kids, grandkids that may wonder, what am I doing with my life? What could I do? I encourage you to stop by our table here. We firmly believe that we help the community by linking young people, capable young people, with opportunities, job opportunities, educational opportunities. Okay, that's my shameless plug. All right, now what I want to do is actually recognize the folks up here. What I have is my battalion coin, and every unit has what's known as a challenge coin. All the veterans know this, so this is just going out to those of you who haven't served. The challenge coin, it's a long-standing tradition in the military, and what we'd like to do is we'd like to present it. It says a little something about the unit. This one has a picture of the Empire State Building. We're the Empire Battalion. I'm going to give it to all the folks up here and say thank you for what they've done, both to the community as well as to the veterans at large. Madam.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you for your service. Thank you all.
Every day, the one group of veterans standing them up.
So if I could just pause for if I could just ask us again to give all of our veterans a round of applause. And I just want to take this time to say thank you for your service, for protecting our country, for protecting our communities. We understand the sacrifice that you make, and we appreciate you. At this time, I want to recognize our Assemblywoman of the 56th District, Monique Chandler Waterman. Are you still here?
Hello everyone. How are you today? I am so happy to be here to see all the resources the services. And I want to thank our district leader from CD16. I want to thank our chairwoman. I want to thank the board. I want to thank all of you. Thank you so much for your leadership and all the community boards here and all the elected. My colleagues are here as well. My name is Monique Chandler Waterman, New York State Assemblywoman, just newly elected. This is not my district, but I say I graduated from Boys and Girls High. Mr. Frank Mickens teaching. Everybody knows about Mickens. So it's good to come back. And I would like to say my biological father and my father-in-law are both veterans from the Army and the Marines. And I'm proud to say that my father, Randolph Waterman, my father-in-law, he's a judge advocate with Dory Miller, post 2213. You know, I gotta make sure, right? Part of our focus is to make sure that everyone is covered, especially our veterans. We can't say heroes one way, and then when our heroes are here, back home, that they don't get the services and support they need. So when I was out campaigning, my father-in-law taught my son and told him what he did. Every single person, before they could say they're vet, you're a vet, give me your name and number. Gave it to my father-in-law, and within an hour they were called, and then he helped them with services. We have a public safety task force, and the amount of young men that have come home don't have resources, PTSD, the mental health, the trauma. They're also focused on this. So we, out of our office, we make sure we're very intentional about the needs of all our community members, holistically. We love you, we support you, you are our heroes, you have done so much for us, and we want to make sure that we honor you and respect you, which is basic needs of services, housing, insurance, healthcare. Those are basic needs that no one should have to fight for, but we have not forgotten you. No matter what anybody else has done to you, we are here to fight for you, and we're in the fight. So I have to thank you and be on behalf of my fathers. Thank y'all all for your service. Thank you for everything you have done for our country and what you continue doing every day and the bravery that you have shown us. And I need to also announce, I just came into the state, I replaced the former Assemblymember Nick Perry, who's here for 30 years. He's now the U.S. Ambassador to Jamaica, and I just recently got it in May. And I am happy that the state and my colleagues has pushed, so now we have the New York State of Opportunity Department of Veteran Services, not division, department. So we're going to make sure that we are addressing the needs and continue advocating. And part of our duty as community members, I don't know if I'm getting in trouble, we have an election coming up. And it's not about who you like, it's who supports your interests. Because we in the state and assembly, we could do but so much for ourselves. You need a senator, you need the governor, you need everybody on the same page. We need two hands to clap. So we need to take those hands and making sure that we are voting for our voice and our choice and our interest. Our lives depend on it. Our benefits depend on it. Our resources depend on it. We can't, I understand that sometimes we lose hope. But guess what? One of the promises, when I brought my kids to this world, they didn't ask to be here. We got to make sure that our future is taken care of. And that is by also making sure that we vote. Okay? So let's make sure we go out there. So I'm going to get up to my now, because I got to run back to my district. We got a Republican with the same first name, Monique, as mine. But I am the Democrat, Monique Chandler Waterman, New York State Assembly, and thank y'all so much for y'all support. I love you. Pray for me and my family and my district. Thank you so much.
And next we have a special guest. We've been joined by the commissioner from the Department of Consumer and Workers Protection, Ms. Hilda Mayuga. Right here.
No, thank you so much. This is really amazing and so beautiful, and I'm just so delighted to get a few minutes to just chat with you about our services. I mean, you've served us so amazingly well and continue to do that, right, those in active duty, and we really want to have you allow us to serve you, right? We want to make sure that you have everything you need as a city Thank you so much, especially, I know it's been said a few times, I'm losing where she's at, Dr. Brown, right? And thank you. I know this is amazing. I'm so grateful that you put in these events together. Also, District Manager, Green Walker Community Board 16 as well, right? Thank you so much. I mean, it's really important to make sure that we bring the services to you, right? So you know about them and we don't have to have you try to find them all the time. And I also wanted to start a call, I think in the Army recruiting, my son is 8, so he's ready to enlist, I gotta say. He decided to dress up as a soldier for Halloween. And he really enjoys it very much, he really respects it, and he is very interested in the history of our armed forces. So I'm really hoping that we can continue to cultivate that in him because he really values what it means to serve his country. So thank you. He might be at your table in a few years. My name is Vilda Vera Mayuga, Commissioner at the New York City Department of Consumer and Worker Protection. As the name sounds, like says it, right? We're here to protect consumers and workers. And every single person is a consumer. And we also want to make sure that especially our veterans, right, have what they need. Unfortunately, there's a lot of scams out there, for example, right? And I think anytime there's a particular community in a service for them, like veterans, a lot of individuals also try to take advantage of you. And so we want to make sure that that doesn't happen. We have a lot of resources, a lot of tips to make sure that you keep certain things in mind as you navigate, right, the sea of opportunities that are out there for you. And one other piece that I really wanted to make sure that you knew about, because it's not in our title, is that we provide financial services. We have financial empowerment centers throughout the city. There's, I believe, at least 4 here in Brooklyn, and there's one right down in Fulton, and there's also one in Church Avenue here in Bed-Stuy. And we want to make sure that you take advantage of those because it really gives you the opportunity to sit down with an individual and go through your, whatever your reality may be when it comes to finances, right? I'm sitting with one myself to figure out how do I finally get rid of my student loan debt after all these years. I know I look young, but it's still there. And manage credit card debt and create budgets and all those things, right? And so I really wanted to encourage you to know about the services. We have my colleague, Mohammed is at the table in the corner. Elby is here too from our community affairs services. And we want to make sure that you come and talk to us. And we want to help you navigate the different services that the city may offer, particularly those from us. So thank you so much. I recently took my kids to Washington, D.C., visited a lot of the memorials, but just trying to right here show a lot of history that I need homework to do to make sure that I know what's going on right here in our home in the city. So thank you so much. It's been very inspiring to hear all of you speak, and I hope I get to meet all of you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner, for being with us. And I appreciate your story about your son being 8 and wanting to possibly go into the service. And so I want to remind everyone that there's opportunities for young people. There's junior ROTC, and then there's also ROTC. So if you have young children who are interested and already know they're interested, I would encourage you to let them take advantage of those opportunities so that when they get to the military, everything that they experience is not new to them. And they begin to build relationships, they get mentors, and they're more prepared on day one than if they had not participated in those programs. So take advantage of those resources as well. At this time, we're going to have Mr. Gerald Plessy, again, of the U.S. Army. He's going to come and sing God Bless America.
The storm clouds gather Yes, I heard, and I heard through the night with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairie.
Credit card debt is a challenge many of us face.
White with foam, yes, God bless America, my home, sweet home. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Yes, God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America.
Thank you so much, Dr. Christie, for that beautiful, beautiful rendition of God Bless America. At this time, I believe there are some presentations for our Grand Marshals. The holders of the presentations, I'm just going to ask that you bring those forward. I'll start by reading the citation from, actually, Assemblyman Waterman, since you're still here, do you want to read your citation? Assembly Member Suppan.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, that's not kind of weak. Good afternoon, everyone. That's right. My name is Farrah Suppan Forrest, and I'm the Assembly member representing 8057, and that's Clinton Hill, Fort Greene, Prospect Heights, Crown Heights, and a little bit of Bed-Stuy. But I'm very much proud to say that CB3, CB8 is my own. CB16, I got love for you, though. I got much love. And so, being the Assembly member, I am very excited to not only echo the words of my colleague. When we talk about veteran affairs, we're talking about our issues. When you look at who is in the front lines, our black and brown faces, who are the ones that are needing the most services, I'm also very happy to say that we have transitioned from a division of veteran affairs to now a Department of Veteran Services. That transition is important. But as a nurse, I also have to represent for our health. And so another initiative that we did in the state this year is actually have a crisis call, a crisis number for people who are suffering from mental health issues. And that number is the 988 number. We've been heavily campaigning on it. We've been heavily pushing it into our communities. This number is not just for the little brothers, little sisters, but it's also for our veterans and our seniors too, and anyone in between. Also, as a nurse, I must stress that our health is very important. So, when you see Assembly Member Chandler Waterman here, and also me, when we say call our offices, there is no issue too small, too big, too personal that you cannot come to us. I don't want you to show and tell me what's going on, but you should definitely come by and seek some help. Because what is not acceptable is for you to do it on your own. So please, please reach out to our office. And one little tidbit I will say for the people in the back. My colleague said it. It is voting time. It is voting time. But what these people don't understand is that they're thinking that because you are part of a political party, that means something. That don't mean nothing. It's time for us to stop just voting down the line and actually look at who you want to represent you. Look at who you want to represent you. Look at the people with the track records, with the time stamps that show up and show out each and every day for you. Whether it be in a political office, whether it be at the nursing home, whether it be in your home as a visiting nurse, it don't matter. Look at who is standing up with you, whether it be on the picket line or at your home providing services for you. And so when you're voting on that line, look, do you recognize that person? Have you seen her? Have you seen him? And if you haven't, they don't deserve your vote. And I'm saying that as someone right here who's trying to make sure that people make educated votes, because it doesn't matter if they're Democrat if they're not voting for you on your issue. You understand? And so I stand strong with my colleagues today. We do have some citations. Am I saying? Okay, she got it, but we dropped some more. Thank you so much and have a pleasant day. Thank you so much.
Commissioner Maluka, hi. I was looking because, like, remember?
Okay. We have a lot of citations, so many that we won't be able to read them all. But I'm going to take the time to acknowledge all the citations that are provided to our Grand Marshal. Take this time again to recognize our Grand Marshal, Colonel Ricky Semple, Colonel Gregory E. Collins, Herbert Sweat, and also Wendy McClinton. And on behalf of our Grand Marshals, there have been a number of citations provided. We have New York State Assembly citation from Assembly Member Farrah Front. Heard from. We also have a New York State Assembly citation from Assembly Member Marie Chandler Waterman, who we just heard from. Another New York State Assembly citation from Assembly Member Nikki Loomis. We have another citation from the Our Grand Marshal has received these citations, and so please, Colonel Gregory Collins. Collins, he's not here. Okay. Mr. West, these are presented to you. Congratulations. Ricky Simple, I'd like to present these to you. And these are for Wendy. Thank you. And there are holders of, I think, a red or orange ticket. If you would visit the diabetes table, if you are the holder of a red or orange ticket, you can visit the diabetes table. And we're going to have a few words from Colonel Simple.
Good day. I'm going to make this short. I just want to take this opportunity to give a special recognition to Dr. Brown, Chief Warrant Officer 3 Roper, Mr. Doug Williams, and the officers and members of Brooklyn Community Board 3, 8, and 16 Veterans Prayers for providing me the honor and privilege to represent our veterans as we celebrate them on this special day. I am grateful and humbled to be standing here today as a Grand Marshal representing veterans. This day is set aside to honor and celebrate all the veterans who have served, and also military members in uniform who are still serving our nation. It's wonderful being here to celebrate with you. I'm going to make this short. As I said before, I said to say a few things about myself. So there's so much that I've done over the years in the military. There's more in the program if you want to read about me. One of the things that I did, I want to point out is I actually served for 42 years in the Army. And that was a pleasure and a privilege to serve for 42 years and retired 2 years ago. I started off as an enlisted soldier, 12 years enlisted, and went over to the Army Support. I have a family of 5, that's what I want to highlight. I have a family of 5. My entire family also served in the military, and together we have 80 years of service between us. Today with me is my daughter, Staff Sergeant Simple, who is always by my side supporting us, and thank you for coming. Definitely a pleasure being here today. Thank you very much for this honor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Colonel. Congratulations to you. So again, can we just give all of our Grand Marshals a round of applause?
You see your table? Yes. Yes? Okay, so when you need it, he'll give you, sorry. When you need it, he got you. Okay, thank you.
Veterans Day, which is coming up, but a lot of people, a lot of resources go into planning this single day event. And so I want to acknowledge all of those who have helped to pull this together. So the committee members, Dr. Brown of Community Board 16, Ms. Granville of Community Board 8, Mr. Doug Williams of Community Board 3, all chairpersons, Mr. James of Community Board 3, a committee member, Ms. Carol Richburg, Mr. Andre Parker, all of Community Board 3 Veterans Committee, Ms. Joanne Sexton, Ms. Justine Roper, those are of Community Board 16 Veteran Committee, Mr. Lynn Johnson of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, Mr. Sammy Coates of U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, Ms. Catherine Laporte of the U.S. Army New York City Recruiting Battalion, Public Affairs, Ms. Cynthia Shamble, New York Military Support Veterans Network. Christopher James, President of the Veterans Action Group Buffalo Soldiers.
Good afternoon, everyone. Give me a second. Good day to everyone. Good day. I want to thank everyone for attending this very important event, celebrating, showcasing information for our veterans. Veterans are America's first responders, first responders. And for this tribute, we are celebrating and showcasing what our veterans have accomplished for our community and for our nation. When I first met Dr. Brown, years ago, I feel like we knew each other forever. Come on, man, speak up. I feel like we knew each other forever. I quickly found out that we served in the best rules, active working branches, the U.S. Navy. When we first got to boot camp, the first things our drill instructor company commander asked us was, do you know what Navy means? School. No? So he said, Navy means never again volunteer yourself. That didn't stop us. I quickly found out when I met Dr. Brown that we both served in the Navy. And we had no qualms about volunteering ourselves. And therein, Veterans Appreciation Parade was began. And I thank you all for being here today because that you will never hesitated to volunteer to bring information and celebrate America's first. Now, I'm a member of Veterans Community Board 3. I want to thank Command Sergeant Major Fraser of West Point for coming on down. Command Sergeant Major Fraser, if you're still here. I also would like to acknowledge all of the elected officials that came by. Councilmember Chair also supporting us, Borough President Reynoso supporting us, Councilmember Darling supporting us, and all of the elected officials who we saw here today. Some who spoke and some who didn't. Congressmember Yvette Clark came by to show us support. Assemblymember Stephanie Zimmerman was here, and I want to thank all of them for coming to celebrate and showcase what New York City is about their veterans. I also would like to thank all of the agencies who brought information to showcase what they are doing and have done in order to celebrate our veterans. I got a pretty nice little medal from the visiting nurses of New York. The visiting nurses, I want to tell you, she gave everyone a beautiful medal. Did you like it?
a bell? Okay, great. I also want to thank New York Brooklyn Public Library and Miss Brenda. They came out because they, listen, when I grew up, they said reading is fundamental. Not YouTube, reading is fundamental. And I want to thank Miss Brenda again from the Brooklyn Public Library for coming out, sharing information. I also would like to thank New York City Department of Veterans Services. I want to thank you guys for coming out, sharing information. Black Veterans for Social Justice. I want to thank you guys, man. Thank you guys very much. I tell you what, when I came home from the service, I didn't even know I was eligible for unemployment. And Mr. George Mashariki, when I was, all my money was spent. I had no money. I happened to see Black Veterans for Social Justice office. And the first thing he said to me was, Mr. James, you could apply for unemployment. Don't imagine you coming home from the service. After serving your country and you come home, you don't even know that you're eligible for unemployment. That's the level of non-dissemination of information that appears to all veterans. That is what I applaud Dr. Brown. I just think she said, hey, come on, we're going to do this, because a lot of veterans are coming home, they don't even know what they have earned. And so I want to thank Black Veterans for Social Justice. I want to thank all of this. Listen, veterans, I want to tell you something. There's an organization called Small Business Development Corporation, SBDC. Any veteran that wants to start a business, I suggest you start with the SBDC. We have Miss Miriam Colon. She came on to tell you guys how to start a small business. Miss Miriam Colon from the SBDC. Show yourself, Miss Miriam. Miss Miriam Colon. Miss Miriam Colon. This is Miss Miriam Colon. Veterans that want to start a business, I suggest you speak to Miss Miriam Colon. She's at 25 Chapel Street. I mean, talk to her and get her information. She has very important information for all veterans. I also would like to thank the IRS. There's a public advocate from the IRS. They're trying to change the way we look at the IRS. So we have the public advocate from the IRS back there. Hello? Identify yourself. She will tell you when you have problems with your taxes, what to do. You have the IRS. There's a whole lot of information here. And I want to thank everyone for coming out, sharing information, showing appreciation for America's first responders. America's first responders are your veterans, believe it. Okay? I want to thank the American Legion. I want to thank especially thank the Lions Club. Now, all the food you guys have been eating, that's the Lions Club. And a special thanks for the U.S. Army for letting us know that they got our back. They got our back. And also, there's for legal, anybody, including veterans, that has legal issues, Allied, New York, listen, Allied, anybody from the Allied, please? Can you stand up? Allied is over there for legal assistance. Again, I want to thank you all for coming, and I thank you all for being here and standing up and sharing love for our veterans. My name is Christopher James. I want to thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. James. So I think that brings us to the close of our program. As Mr. James said, there's lots of resources in the back here. There's lunch in the middle of the room. Please indulge in some lunch. And thank you all for coming out again this year. We look forward to next year. And in the meantime, as we move into the holiday season, have a
season. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, I just want to say one more thing. Miss Gwendolyn Moss of New York City Fire Department. I want to thank the fire department for coming out. I am sorry, guys. And to anyone I forgot, I want to let you know that you are ministry is making this happen. Even if you forgot to mention your name, we want to thank you for being here. Okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Tony!
Thank you. So we're going to